on behalf of the More Than Muscle team, I just want to kick off things by saying or addressing a current affair, a topic of conversation that's been dividing a lot of people, and it's got us in hot water. Many of you will probably have noticed the fact that More Than Muscle was in the news recently because of one sole individual who took it upon himself to march in recent rallies in Sydney. Now, he somehow, some way or another, jumped from seeing the BLM movement to interpreting that as the bodybuilders' lives matter. Now, naturally, yeah, it's quite a jump, but you can see his maths equation. Like it's the wrong answer, but you can see he's working.
I mean, what confused me was that he rocked up and still went ahead with thinking that it was the bodybuilding lives matter march.
Look, he's clearly a bit socially inept. I'm going to say he now the reason we copped a backlash was the fact that he was dressed head to toe in More Than Muscle apparel, shorts, t-shirts. He even had stickers on placards that he brought along. Now his intent was good. He thought finally bodybuilders are going to give some attention, some well-earned recognition. For years, sporting clubs and other sporting teams have been giving funding from governments. Bodybuilders have just been kind of cast aside. So he's gone ahead and, in traditional custom, he's dressed in bodybuilding attire.
Singer,
short shorts, but he's really pushed the boundaries by adding a couple of very deep coats of tan.
Yeah, because, and his reasoning was, he said, knowing that there was going to be a lot of potential podiums and stages, he went with a very small pair of trunks on, ready to take the kit off and pose at any point in time. And in bodybuilding, competitive bodybuilding tradition, with that comes a few very dark layers of tan.
That's right.
But given the actual nature of the movement and what it's for, it really didn't go down too well.
He couldn't have picked worse context, really, to be doing that. He got a lot of ridicule on the day, a lot of hate, and in turn we've really heard about it. We just wanted to go on record and say that we did not sponsor him. This was his own doing. This was his own initiative.
So you guys have come under fire for promoting blackface, essentially.
What? Allegedly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, look, just before we get into the questions and then the competition, I thought that we should probably give an update on the More Than Muscle apparel.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of questions, so I just wanted to keep everyone updated. Now, I've got a very good friend over in Pakistan called Zishan. Now, we've been going back and forth. What? He's my contact. We've been going back and forth. He assures me he's the best. I'm still convinced he's the best. Joel, on the other hand, that's a contentious issue. Anyway, we actually, Moses, you haven't seen these. No. We were very excited. We had the samples coming in, ready to launch the product.
Sweet.
They looked good on film. Joel was saying, "Oh man, they look a little bit small." I said, "No, Zishan." He assures me that they're correct as per our measurements. Anyway, the postage came. Yep. Now these were a men's medium that we got in. We opened the packaging. So this is. They could be smaller builds over in Pakistan. I'm not exactly sure, but they're a little bit snug. I'd say they're a little on the tight side. So we're going back for round 2, actually 3.
The worst part about...
Do they have like a different measurement system?
No. You know what it is?
It was I'm going to say all my fault because Zishan wouldn't have made a mistake.
No. You can pin some of this on Zishan. And if you're watching Zishan, you're not the best of the best, okay? You've effed up a few times now. Not only that, but everyone else working in the same factory as him. He seems to be. Is he working alone? Does he have advisors? Because everyone said.
I said to him, "Hey, have you looked at our website, right?" And he goes, "Yeah." He said, "We made the shorts, and everyone asked me or said they look a little bit small
For such muscular men.
He said they look a little bit small for fairly big guys." And he said, "No, that's the size.
This is what they want."
Yeah.
They fit my daughter. Just.
Yeah, genuinely, they're like the perfect fit for a 1.5-year-old girl. So that's a new market. If anyone has 1-year-old daughters, 1 to 2 years old, fits well.
Fits like a men's basketball short on a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah.
You should frame it.
Probably will.
Our first pair.
Yeah.
What a success story.
Do we want to get into questions?
Let's get into some questions.
Is apparel really coming? Alright guys, ready to hear some questions from some fans?
I can't wait, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah?
What's the first question?
Alright, you go to the questions. Alright, James from Newcastle asks, what's your opinions on marijuana use?
Ooh, controversial.
Are you stoned now, Moses?
I wish. I wish.
There we go. That's our first opinion. I mean, look.
I find it so bizarre, actually, how not only passionate people are that do smoke marijuana, but also how prevalent it is in bodybuilding. It's like for some people, it's like hand in hand. How could you bodybuild without smoking marijuana?
Genuinely the only time, because I don't like hang around with bodybuilding big groups. The only times I have was when I went to America, and it's a different case and scenario there because it is legal in California. But any time I was in a big group, I was literally, and it could have been a group of 20, 30 guys, I was literally the only guy not smoking weed. The only guy. And everyone looked at me like I was crazy.
So when you're in California?
Yeah. Everyone was.
Makes sense.
Yeah. That's not my opinion on it. Brock?
I'm somewhat hesitant to say because I know that it's contentious. I personally, I have no time for marijuana.
Just a busy guy. But if he did...
Yeah, if I had a little more time on my hands, I would be ripping bongs left, right, and center.
I think there's some kind of research on muscle repair, how it increases muscle repair or something, or how much they repair. Not too sure. Don't quote me on that. But something like that. And also there's something about how it makes you retain less fat or something. Like I know people smoke weed every day, eat shit. Skinny as,
Oh, there you go, mate.
Stop.
Yeah. When you get shredded, smoke weed.
So Moses, a serious question. Do you think that it does have the potential for anyone to have like long-term psychological negative effects?
Definitely.
Because that's hard to measure.
Yeah.
Talking personally, I was a everyday smoker for a few years, and I've definitely noticed that my long-term memory isn't what it used to be before I smoked. And I I don't know.
And you're a young dude.
And everything, but me and my friends were, yeah, man, our memories are a bit messed up from smoking every single day for so long.
There'd be nothing worse than forgetting like a glorious chess session.
Chess session?
That's probably what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Was that a good chess? I can't remember, dude. Oh my god.
I think I'm so.
But no, I think the main thing is that it just destroys your motivation. And if you're smoking frequently and you get into the habit of not being motivated and not being productive, then even if you stop smoking weed, that habit's still there and it's hard to break.
Then there's Artemis, who's like one of the most motivated people I know.
Yeah, who smokes every chance he gets.
I've been hotboxed more in my life. All right, do we go to next one?
Yeah, what's the next question?
This is Jake from Detroit, Michigan. Do you like screamers at the gym when you're training? Example, the guy next to you is screaming after every rep of calf raises or something.
No. I couldn't. There's nothing worse than, the worst thing is going into a near empty gym and the only, this has happened to me too many times to count, the only other guy in there just so happens to be an obnoxious screamer and the music is particularly quiet. There's nothing drowning his screams out, to the point where just recently I was training in a gym where the only other guy was a obnoxious screamer, and he's done something I don't think I've seen anyone else do, which is make like elephant sounds after each lift. Like, so doing a deadlift, say, he's going, and it is almost in my ear because of all the squat racks. What are they called? Like the powerlifting platforms of all the powerlifting platforms in this gym, and there's a few. He's chosen the one. I was already on a cable machine directly sort of adjacent where the squat rack was. That's the one he chose. He's obnoxiously slamming the plates onto the bar, screaming, and then the pinnacle was the elephant noises.
What do you think it is? Is it like a show-off thing? Like they want?
I genuinely think they're oblivious.
I just think they're the coolest guys.
Oh. So I love this podcast. Difference of opinions.
It's the pits.
Are you a screamer?
100%.
No, I don't think I've ever made
the occasional sheep noise, but I'll never go full elephant. No.
Don't ever go full elephant.
No slamming weights, no screaming. It's so pointless.
I've never understood it. I've never understood it.
All right.
You know what? This is for anyone that does, that does sort of recognize that maybe they make a little bit too much noise in the gym. Trust me, everyone's looking at you, and it's not in a positive way.
Yeah.
Next question.
All right, this one's from @NoBrains, from Wimbledon, London. He asks, or she, they ask, will chronic masturbation cause asymmetry in my forearms? Would you recommend going lefty or adding 1 to 2 more sets in the gym for the lagger?
Brock? You'd be the guy to ask.
Yeah.
Years and years of dry spells. This is definitely your domain, Rocky.
Yeah.
Well, and look, hey, let's take a quick note of anyone that's seen Brock's latest Instagram post. Incredibly large forearms.
Yeah, and look,
in both, yeah.
And I can't take full credit for this. We used to train at a gym, actually, when we first started, and there was an older guy there. I didn't question it at the time. It makes much more sense now. He was known as Chronic Tom, and that was a nickname given by other members. We didn't realize why. And he had the world's greatest forearms. The rest of his body wasn't overly developed, but just incredible forearms. And usually, like, I don't know if I ever saw him do anything other than this. He'd just simply grab the rope, and on the cable machine, his whole movement for probably half an hour would be that. And controlled slow reps, good squeeze at the top, down, and then he'd keep going up and up in weights. But it was only ever on the left-hand side. And years later, we discovered that Chronic Tom was a chronic masturbator. He certainly had a sickness. He was quite open about it, apparently, and would then go into the gym to train his left side.
To even them out.
Yeah, to even them out. So look, I would say if you're into self-pleasure, make sure you do compensate. And I would say that you don't go lefty. That's only going to make your habit worse.
Yeah.
That means you have to double up on your already sick habit.
Yeah.
So I would go I'd go into the gym and train that left side.
Which you do.
You know what I would say, no grains? I would say, maybe switch it up, keep a record. Left today, right tomorrow, Or with the hand you're not using, maybe hold on to a shake weight at the same time, Or do a bit of, brain gym exercise at the same time. Tug on your left ear with your right hand.
Right.
And your other, you know.
Yeah, maybe one of those walnut cracker things, you know.
Yeah.
At the same time. And that way you're being more efficient with your time, actually. So that's probably a good suggestion.
Yeah. So
Yeah, thanks, Mosey.
Nikolai from Washington, D.C. He asks, when you were intermediate bodybuilders, how did you periodize your workouts? How much was hypertrophy or focus?
Hypertrophy is just muscle building, the means to building muscle.
Oh, I thought
essentially.
That's just what it is.
That's just what it is.
I thought it was like the number one prize for the competition.
Well, building muscle is the number one prize. I don't know, what does he mean by intermediate bodybuilders? What are we now?
Well, when we got our
Still classify ourselves as amateurs.
We got our advanced certificate 2 years ago now. Before that, we were intermediate for a while.
Same time you got your pen license.
Yeah, about that. And then, so
to answer the question, I think
in terms of period, I'm guessing
it's always been the same.
Split. It's
I'm not
to a
really
degree.
sure.
I remember we started doing 5-day splits, then went to 4 days.
That's true.
And then went to 3.
I think like most people, I know I started by training one muscle group per day per week. So it wasn't maybe until 1 or 2, maybe even 3 years into training, sort of going through the motions, that then I realized by the time, say if I trained chest on Monday, by the time Monday of the following week came around, I wasn't sore. It was probably 3 days before then that I had completely recovered. I decided to quicken things up, and as I was sort of learning more about the bodybuilders of the 70s and 80s, that frequency was important, like how often you train each muscle group. So definitely over time, it went from a 7-day split to a 6-day to 5-day to 4-day, and we've found what works best for us is now a 3-day split.
Yeah.
There you go, 3-day split.
Last one.
Last question.
All right, this is from Haynes_Jacob17 from Buffalo, New York. Asks, I want to get involved with film cameras and have a couple of pictures on my Instagram like you. What is a good beginner film camera and film?
A disposable film camera.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. It's the easiest place to start. And they often
Point and
turn
shoot.
out looking all right,
Yeah. Some of my best, in my opinion, some of my best shots.
Some of my best work have been...
Some of my best work. I would say some of Brock's best work has been on a disposable film camera.
No.
You're the one taking the photos.
I'm more advanced. I think go with a film camera. A disposable film camera before you go for a manual one, and then probably once you do want to explore more manual film cameras, go to a reputable seller. If you buy stuff online secondhand, you just never know. I had one recently actually that worked for one roll, and it was from the 60s, worked for one roll and then completely stuffed up after that. So that was a big waste of money, as most of it is. It's exceptionally expensive to get into film photography, but in my opinion, it's worth it.
Yeah, likewise. I think it's worth it, but people forget the cost of film, the cost of the film camera, film, and then developing the film, and you only get anywhere between 24 and 36 shots per roll, and sometimes you get a roll developed and not a single photo is worth posting, so you're ending up with maybe a lot of the time 95 to 99% of photos not being used for that reason. But like Brock said, I still think it's worth it. You can't replicate that image, and so many people try using filters and programs. Just doesn't quite give the same effect.
Yeah.
There's a difference, analog to digital.
Sweet.
Now this is the third competition now.
Yeah, number 3.
Do we have a prize? A pair of shorts.
Second pair. Oh, I don't know.
Well, we didn't think this ahead, did we?
Speaking of Corey Crawford, winner of course, household name now because he's winner of the second competition.
Yeah.
We will have your shorts. We just don't want to send you a kid's size. So apologies for the delay, but your prize is coming.
It is coming.
Yeah, what should the prize be? Maybe...
Q&A session.
Oh my gosh. Oh, something's highly of their time. Yeah.
Yeah, signed photo.
Maybe like poems.
I could write them an acrostic poem in their using their name. Sign it.
So I think a poem and a portrait.
A drawn portrait.
A drawn portrait
Of him or
of them.
you guys?
No, of them.
So an acrostic poem using their name.
Yeah.
And a
portrait
an illustration.
of their winning shot.
Yeah.
Great, and that's high. That's that could fetch thousands at auctions. All right, cool. Well, competition number 3. We've got another packed lineup. Had to cull it down a fair bit. Heaps of entrants this week, so
We couldn't make a decision, so we got Moses to pick our top 6. So if you didn't make the cut this time around, I'll bring that up with Moses. Let's get into our first competitor.
Alright, so first up we've got Arturs at Gulliver's Fit on Instagram.
great. Good plug.
This is his photo.
All right. What a it's striking. That's for sure. It looks
love
like a
Great physique. It's also a very nice pose.
nice lighting.
Golden hour.
Clearly a little bit ashamed of his lower legs and feet.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I wish Joel would do a bit more of that.
Yeah, I'm just struggling to find bodies of water that shallow.
Okay, so Arturs, he is from Riga City in Latvia. And he says, "You can't spoil bad milk, but you can make pancakes out of it. I find things I suck at and make them better, I think."
Wow. I think, yeah. See,
In addition, he says,
If someone said, "Hey, do you want pancakes using this spoilt milk?" I'd say absolutely not. I'm
Yeah.
moving bed and breakfasts.
but this guy,
Is that meant to convince us?
well, I mean, don't knock it till you try it, I think, is what he's getting at here. And it sounds like he can turn nothing into something. You know what I mean?
You're really looking on the
He's a
bright-
glass half full kind of guy.
Clearly you are as well.
and the glass
Yeah.
is half full of
You have stinky milk.
Yeah, curdled
Stinky
milk.
dinner.
I think what he's saying is that if you're in a shit situation, do something to make it better. I do respect that attitude.
He obviously has a close relationship with Miss Muffet,
Miss Muffet.
What are you talking about?
who ate her curds and whey. And she was smart because she was probably one of the most muscular nursery rhyme characters.
She was
There
too,
it was.
actually.
They used to call it Buff Muffet, right?
Yeah.
They did call her
They
Buff
actually just
Buffett.
say Mrs. Buffett. Miss Buffett.
Yeah, Shredded Buffett, I think they called her.
Arturs also asks, "Want to know what's in my fanny pack?"
Yes.
No.
She's got there.
You don't want
rock.
You don't want to know?
I couldn't care less. It's another blatant plug.
No, let's see what he's done there.
Yeah. Now I'm just not interested in it. But this is him saying why he should win, and he says, "Want to see my fanny pack? Want to see my fanny pack?"
Yeah, well, I think it's become quite a trend. I saw before the whole COVID pandemic, a lot of guys jumping on stage with fanny packs, asking the judges if they want to see them. And I did notice half the judges were going, I guess so, and the others like, no, I couldn't care less.
I remember that guy that rolled
The
pulled out
Maltesers,
the Maltesers
and rolled them down toward
rolled them.
judges as like a... That's it. Yeah, and it worked. It won the judges over.
I think
No, and I don't think there's anyone that dislikes Maltesers.
Yeah, I mean it's blatant bribe, but
It worked.
well, I think it works in a physical context, but
Does
it's
it
more
work for
muscle.
our competition if we're not getting anything out of having seen the inside of
Yeah.
his fanny pack, which it doesn't look like we're going to get the opportunity
And
to
I'm
do
not
anyway.
I'm not chasing it up either.
Nah.
Maybe he's saying that just looking at this photo is like a mental Malteser, you know?
Yeah, but it just leaves me hungry and dissatisfied. So next competitor.
Next. Oh, Joel. Brutal.
Next up, we've got Bogdan P.
Bogdan?
Bogdan P, yeah. It's a common name in other parts of the world.
Holy smokes. That's quite the tan line. Is that a tan line?
Oh, it is too.
I thought he was wearing shorts.
Goodness gracious.
Shorts with undies over the top of them. Like skins, you know, he's wearing skins shorts and then...
All right, so
Physique.
about Bogdan's personality.
Bogdan, he's from Boca Raton, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Oh,
says
he's from
about
Florida.
himself, I am very patient and I love the process kind of guy. I think that Joel's captions are awkwardly funny. Because I don't count calories and eat whole foods like you guys preach. Not even flexing in this photo, lol.
Not even flexing. Holy smokes. I hate to see how large he is when he is flexing.
Yeah. Look at those shoulder striations.
Yeah.
Vascular.
Gosh, I don't understand why you enter a competition and not show your best version. Why not
I think...
just flex?
Well, look, we did set the premise, you know, don't leave your egos at the door. I think he's kind of making a point.
Right, he's saying, I'm competitive without even trying.
Yeah. I'm just... There's something off-putting about his skin tone.
No, there's something off-putting about his lack of mention of my captions.
Oh, there was nothing off-putting about that.
I'm immediately offside.
What?
Clearly doesn't appreciate.
But he said that he likes my
caption.
He likes my captions.
He said awkwardly funny.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, I never thought of my captions as awkward.
And why should Bogdan win, Mosey?
And says, because I don't count calories and eat whole foods like you guys preach.
Oh, that's why he should win.
So, yeah.
No, that's not really a reason to win because otherwise we'd be winning every competition without even having to enter.
This is our own, it's our own competition.
Yeah, by all means, take our advice and keep taking it. But does it warrant a win?
Flattery works, you know. But gee, really tough market today. But
Well, it's just because look, the caliber of contestants actually keep improving. I will say this much: some positives. Another really cool shot. I do like the photo itself. Good physique. Work on that upper leg tan. But the scenery is nice. The colours are nice. Physique is nice. Is it enough to win?
Let's move on. It's
a nice compliment.
Let's find out.
You know, I reckon both of these guys so far look shredded. I'd be so happy if I looked like that, especially if I didn't have to do any work to look like that. But
You look fantastic, Moses.
Mosey, yeah. Love the body you're in and then make it better.
All right. Next up, we've got Robbie Campbell. Rocky is from Edinburgh and says about himself, I am incredibly intelligent and muscular, yet sensationally and infectiously humble.
Yeah, and we have to take your word for it, Robbie.
Quite the tongue twister.
Yeah, you look fantastically intelligent.
His bedroom wall looks like our original podcast setup.
Ooh, don't even remind me. What's that?
What is that image?
Is that an Illuminati reference?
Yeah, what is that about?
And then a world-conquering reminder down the bottom? Conquer?
Just a daily affirmation. Conquer the world.
Well, he looks like the most Edinburgh person in the world. Read it out one more time, sorry, Mosey.
I am incredibly intelligent and muscular, yet sensationally and infectiously humble.
He sounds infectiously humble, doesn't he?
Yeah. Not at all contradictory.
Just by being around him, you become more humble yourself.
Yeah. Well, I definitely have in the last 30 seconds, I've gone from an arrogant, egotistical asshole to look at me now.
Yeah. It's quite beautiful to watch. All right, why should Robbie win?
Robbie says, I share very similar qualities as a matured male bison. These qualities include dominance, beauty, and a sizable salami.
Robbie.
Probably something to include in the photo.
Yeah,
Failed
right.
to do so.
Oh, that's convenient that it cut off, isn't it?
Yeah, we got to take his word. And fortunately, in this competition, your word is everything, and we have to believe everything you say about
So
yourself.
you're lucky. You are lucky.
Sizable salami.
The inscription on his waistband
Man. Does it say man?
says man.
As if
It
we
said
didn't.
bison.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does
Again,
strike me as
confusing the viewer.
a woolly
Are you a
cow.
bison or man?
Well, it's a pretty strong entry.
It's a strong entry. What do you think of his physique?
It's only half the battle, you know.
Again, I wouldn't mind
Thick.
some full body shots.
Yeah, look, people just don't get the brief. Especially if you're making reference to lower body parts.
Yeah.
You know.
Especially when you're acting like a tripod. Prove it.
All right, next up we've got Miguel _Gratia from Durban, South Africa. Looks like there's a bit of a motif.
I didn't know. I think we've got a bit of a South African following, don't we?
It seems that way. There's been a strong South African representation.
Okay.
Isn't it fantastic that people from all over the world can compete in this? They don't have to travel.
Yeah.
We really are on the frontier of bodybuilding.
No one else has even thought this up.
All right.
Pretty soon you go.
Miguel. You
look very...
did Miguel accidentally send a photo of his younger brother?
I think the wrong person had the camera.
Right.
That's my guess. I could be wrong. Because look, like...
Name some positives. You've got the floor, Joel.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I
so
was waiting for you
just
to...
rattle them
No,
off.
he's not fat. He's not... He looks
Just-
young.
Just rattle off all the
He's
highlights.
got the youth. He's got youth on his side.
I'm considered an alpha male,
Yeah.
similar to Brock. I enjoy getting into scraps with juice heads in the gym and never lose. I should win due to the fact I've attained my unique mass only through hard work, eating popcorn, and undeniable genetics.
Undeniable. It is. Look, I'll give you that, Miguel. That's unique mass. That's exceptionally unique mass.
Because the definition of mass is not usually that. So, we got one more? We're not,
Two more.
Two more.
Okay. Second last entrance. Eli Ownby is from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And he says, I'm a 19-year-old who's been training for 6 years. As a child, I was always outed for having mountainous bicep peaks.
Nothing worse than being outed in public for having bicep peaks.
That's the worst feeling, isn't it?
Oh, they used to burn people at the stake for having mountainous bicep peaks.
Now is a little less frowned upon.
Yeah.
Also, if that's what you have, let us showcase it.
Yeah.
But you haven't done that. There's some nice round muscle bellies, and wasn't afraid to show his thighs off.
Also, he's 19. That's
Yeah,
pretty impressive.
it's very impressive.
Why should Eli win?
Eli should win because the pants are off. I know my bulge is nothing like Brock's in front of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Right.
This is my time.
Well,
Hey, you got the brief. Pants are off. About flipping time.
congratulations for listening.
Listening.
And black is slimming. Like, we don't know that for certain. Your bulge could be far more impressive than Brock's. I've never been personally.
Highly
I've never
unlikely, but
I've never personally been impressed with your bulge, but
I appreciate the sentiment and well done for answering the brief. 19 years old, I'm quite impressed.
he sounds switched on.
Yeah.
He's got the physique.
And switched on early as a 13-year-old.
This looks like different nipples.
Yeah, what a psychopath.
It's definitely making me... Go, scroll back up. What do his nipples look like?
So you think that he's maybe
Oh.
transplanted himself?
I think he has.
definitely.
I think he's killed people. Probably people for having sizable biceps. Taking their nipples. They don't look like his nipples.
No. Buffalo Eli.
How weird. Let's go to.
And that's like that cross chain is completely deceptive because he's trying to distract us from. Like these competitions are always so interesting. We always find something a little bit.
People leave little clues and
left of field, don't we?
Maybe they want the recognition.
And that's a deep belly button. There's a whole nother world of secrets in there. There's not just lint.
All right, let's look at number 6, please, Moses.
Okay. This is the final contestant for the Mr. More Than Muscle monthly comp.
Okay.
And this is Ingo Castillo.
Ingo. Ingo.
And he is from Fort Lauderdale in Florida. Says about himself, bodybuilding connoisseur extraordinaire. I eat my eggs whole and I keep my knees moist. Is that a thing?
There is nothing worse than eating whole eggs with dry knees.
Makes my stomach turn just thinking about it.
Actually, I have absolutely no idea what the wet knees mean. Very UFC-like
physique.
pose,
Yeah.
He looks like a tank MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Either that or he's had a bad pinch in his neck.
I'm not overly fond of the pose, but he's lean, he's diced, he's got good muscle bellies here and there.
He says, voted twice in a row, most likely to grow muscle on my forehead.
That's it?
That's it.
Voted I don't know where these votes are occurring.
You might have asked his parents.
People are meeting to vote on this.
Hey, out of me and my brother, who's most likely to grow muscle on our forehead? I think you, Ingo. And the dad said, I think you too, Ingo. Your brother, not so much.
Everyone's always looking to push the boundaries in new ways in bodybuilding, and if you can kind of push for new areas of muscle growth,
Untapped areas.
Untapped, like the forehead, chin, even the heel, then
we're all for it.
All for it. All right.
Let's get our top 6 up.
Okay.
Who have we got?
Okay, so we've got Arturs, Bogdan, Robbie, Miguel, Eli, and Ingo.
Man.
There they are.
Tough.
I
I really like the first picture.
Yeah, the first picture is quite beautiful, isn't it?
But like, if you're trying to sell yourself to win, why you should win?
I'm not a big bum bag fan.
Look, my top 2 would have to be Robbie from Edinburgh.
Mm-hmm.
My second choice would be Captain Forehead.
Really?
Because I think it's a unique way of pushing the frontier of bodybuilding. They're my thoughts. What do you guys reckon?
Well,
It's tough, this one.
I agree with you. Robbie, Mr. AKA Salami, Mr. Well-Endowed Salami. He's definitely in my top 2, but Eli, the savage nipple
Trader.
twister collector, if you will. He's in. I put him in my top 2. Look, I'm not like a fan of his nipple taxidermy, hobby, if you will. But I do think at his age, great physique. He had some great, had some great words to say.
So are you saying Robbie and nipples?
Robbie and the nipple twister.
Oh, it's Robbie for 2. That's 2 points.
You know what? I'm going to have to say, and out of the 2 of them, I will have to, for that reason, give it to Robbie.
What do you reckon, Mosey?
Look, I'm not as well.
You're well versed,
I don't know
Moses.
too much about bodybuilding, but
This is your 3rd MTM.
Yeah, I think you're
yeah,
experienced.
but all you guys do is talk shit, so I haven't really learnt much.
When have we once talked shit?
Yeah, I think number one, artist, because I like the artistry of the photo.
Mm-hmm.
And, it looks pretty ripped, and I respect the hustle, He knows you guys got a bigger following than him.
You don't know that.
Okay, maybe you don't know anything. I think it's unfortunately unanimous though, isn't it?
Well, no, because clearly it's not. Don't put words in Moses' mouth.
I pick Robbie. Was his name Robbie?
Yeah.
So Brock, who do you decide on?
You can't ask me. I can't choose anyone.
You're one of the two official judges, and I can't ask you who you place first.
If there's one thing that we focus on at More Than Muscle in the Mr. MTM monthly bodybuilding competition, it's the similarities to matured male bison. I have to go Robbie.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Robbie after hearing that again.
Just a strong entry, compelling entry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congratulations, Robbie.
You'll be getting a drawing and a poem. And you must be over the world, over the moon.
Congratulations, Robbie. You have definitely earned that poem and drawing coming your way. I'm more than happy to write the poem if you want to give him a quick sketch.
All right.
Deal.
All right. No worries.
I bet he's pumped. He's watching this now and he's going, wow.
How did I get so lucky?
How did I get so lucky? So someone won money, someone won shorts.
I won a poem.
It's priceless, really.
Anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next week, or the week after, or the month after.
We'll see how we feel.